Hello, 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 listeners. We are here for a very special taping with Mixing with Mani. We just came from, a Bravo influencer event. We can't tell you too much, child, because, we don't want to get sued. But we're here with one of your faves, one of our faves, and our cousin, Miss Mani. How are you today?
I am so good. Thank y'all so much for having me. We don't want to get sued. No one has that housewife money yet.
No way.
So much
But
for
it was
coming.
very fun. And I love seeing my cousins on the screen. I was like, hey, y'all.
Right? We even typed in the chat. We were like, yo, it's Manny, our sis. What's up, y'all? So let's just actually get the, little influencer event out of the way. We actually got to see a supersized version of the Salt Lake City that will be premiering on Wednesday, 11/11. It was a really good show. It's going with a strong start. What did you think about it, Aaron?
For a first episode, I mean, that was like the first time in a while that I've seen a first episode that was that good.
Yeah, like they don't skirt around anything. Like you guys already read the cast description, so we're not spoiling anything. Mary addresses her mess, Whitney addresses her mess. We have like a little, a little vow renewal on the first episode, which is so special. Jen Shaw has all of her personality showing. Who else? Heather Gay. Oh my God. She is pretty, she's a character, and they were all really nice, during the meet and greet, some more than others, and we'll just leave it at that.
Well, I think it's that we can't talk about the premiere because it hasn't come out yet. But the event, they were like, talk it up. Because somebody even put in the chat, they were like, correction, please talk about the event because this is the point, and we need y'all to influence the girls into watching. Y'all, they're wild. They are.
What did you think about the premiere? And also what were you shocked about the most? Because I didn't think that, Whitney was going to get into her mess the way that she got into her mess. And,
she came out swinging. So what's so wild is that so many different times, like the wedding that she and her husband had was like leaked. It was like, that was one of the filming events that everyone always saw. And it's interesting that they ended up putting it in the premiere.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that people see it so early on. It seemed like it was going to be such a major event. I mean, I'm curious to see what happens because there were so many times that production stopped or halted and unrelated to COVID.
It was literally filming for the longest time. They announced it at BravoCon, which was November, almost like 1 year to the freaking date.
Yeah.
And they even have footage from 6 months prior. So it was just
right. But yet we're seeing things that happened post that announcement in the beginning. And they also had to like switch production companies or something too, I heard. So there's a lot of things that I'm curious to see how it all plays out and how they all tie it in together. There were some moments in production value that we de-escalated. There were some times that I was like, was this a COVID shoot with somebody's hand?
Well, you didn't know which one was like the green screen regular shoots that they do or like an in-person, confessional.
Well, yeah, but even like the scene, there was a scene with Meredith and her family, and it was the one I referenced that I asked her about.
Yeah.
At the influencer event, that looked like it was filmed on like a phone. Like it felt very familiar. Same, just like when Garcelle and Renna. Not Garcelle and Renna and Denise had their conversation in Europe.
Afterwards.
Yeah, when they were sitting at that table, it felt like we were on a producer's phone as well.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, is this so that they can kind of test out what that looks like? Because I've heard that they're going to be doing that for OC. That's what they started to do when they went back to filming. And they were supposed to do with Vanderpump Rules, but that hasn't come
We
back
have
yet.
no idea what's going on with that show.
That's dead.
And that's
at the
fine.
moment. And
We're
that's
fine with
fine.
that,
Did y'all see Lala trying to troll people with her own sobriety? I'm like, this girl doesn't know how to be happy. I really need her to get checked. Like, I really do.
Listen, I am a clear Lala Kent apologist. She is
Are
my
you
quote
serious?
unquote problematic
she used
fave.
to be mine.
My
She
problematic
used to be
fave.
mine.
And it's like,
until
I
she
can't.
literally verbally assailed that girl, that poor baby-eyed bitch. I mean, that's the most
I
iconic
loved
line
it.
I've
Like,
ever
it gave
heard.
me everything
But
that I needed.
I love that line. I want it on a hat. I think it's very good. However, I think that girl needed to sit a season out. I was like, you are hurt.
It was like a very Dorinda moment.
Yes, it was like you are going through things.
And
at
it was
the
like
moment.
after her dad passed away, and it was like she wasn't sober then, so she just
No.
like unleashed. And I'm
Well,
just
she
like,
just celebrated her 2 years of sobriety tonight with
congratulations to
a
Laura
Heineken
and her
in clear
baby.
shot, because she really wanted you to ask her about that Heineken so she could be like, it's not alcoholic, you bitch. And I'm like, girl.
And Randall was like,
Recovering.
Randall was like, it's a non-alcoholic beer, so don't worry about
It's
it.
a
She was
seltzer
like-
water.
She was like, show it. I dare you to ask me. I'm like, girl, nobody would think. I mean, there are plenty of dumb Karens out there who would think that she would have a Heineken in her sobriety picture. Like, she's clearly blowing out the candles because she is sober. Why would she? Like, oh, 2 years.
And then there would be people
One
like
night.
arguing in the comments. It would be like, you can have one glass of wine a day while pregnant. And I'm just like,
Okay, girl. That's what Robin did. That made me laugh. Robin is forever the laziest housewife of all time. Like, in the best way. She was like, oh, yeah, I had wine and sushi. They came out fine.
She just gives she gives nothing while giving everything, and I think that
So
that
nice.
makes her the perfect housewife. So speaking of Real Housewives of Potomac, that is what we want to get into.
Yes.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my God, it's still fresh in our minds because it happened like less than 24 hours ago. The main points were Wendy versus Karen. Okay, so basically Giselle went to Karen and told Karen what Wendy was saying and how she was saying
That
it.
was so wild.
So freaking messy. Just
It's
talking
almost
about.
like I can't hate her because she's really producing the show.
Yeah, no, she's definitely one of those people that have to be on the show. She makes good TV.
Like, thank you. You know, this is a hot take, but I think she does what Rinna is always trying to do, but she does it so much more effortlessly, and it's enjoyable. It's genuinely just messy, shady. Because Rinna will just come out of nowhere with people doing coke in your bathroom. You know, she's just out of nowhere. It's like out of left,
Like
"Ooh,
unwarranted.
this spaghetti is delicious." So when people were leaving, were they doing the hard drugs? It's like, we're not there. But see, Giselle finds a way to bring it up and then goes, yeah, you know, you need to be, instead of worried about her, you need to be worried about Karen calling you the freelance floozy or something like that. And it was like, nobody was talking about that. She's so good.
Matter. And I think that, well, Karen, I mean, yeah, Aaron tweeted about Karen and, you know, the conversation that she had with Wendy. And he said, he brought up a really good point. Like, Karen doesn't think that Wendy.
Yeah, I don't think Karen thinks that Wendy is ignorant. I just feel like she wants Wendy to get out of her way. Wendy came on so strong. Like, it's almost as if she inserted herself into the season, I believe, in Karen's eyes.
I definitely like understand where people get tired of the I have 4 degrees, because I definitely get tired of it too. It's hard to get a degree.
Oops,
it's hard
I had
to get
the wrong person on here.
It's hard to get a PhD.
I talk about
so I would
me working on my master's every 5 minutes. It's
I would
relevant
definitely
to
like
every
flaunt
conversation.
it, but like it's just the way that she throws it out there. It's as if she's like looking down on people, and it's like there's different ways to get to success. You should be proud of what you did, because even getting an associate's degree isn't the easiest thing, especially as a Black
Honey,
woman.
getting out of high school, you see what these kids have to do these days.
All right.
Let me tell you something. I work
I
with
don't
the
know what
children,
STEM is. I don't
the
know
elementary
what
school
the
students. I don't know how they're doing that. They're doing
And then
20 times the amount of
especially
homework.
online now because of the pandemic. It's like
Right.
ridiculous.
insane.
Yeah, I think that with Wendy, I feel like I get it. I think that she keeps bringing it up because it comes from an insecure place. And I don't think she's really shy about that. I think that she's very, of course she's insecure. There's a lot of familial pressure on her to be a certain thing that comes culturally that she has explained, but I think also to constantly prove that she's worthy of even her husband, because his entire family basically abandoned him over her. So I think that she's putting a lot of pressure on herself to be this ultimate Nigerian wife, everything, the complete and total package, the multi-degree. Because to be honest, I understand why she wants to make sure that her very Nigerian husband is very happy with his Nigerian wife and happy Nigerian home.
Because that's all he has.
That's all he has left. Not to mention, I do know some Nigerian people, and especially males, their choice in wife, there's a lot that goes into that. And it's not always about what makes the mother happy, as we see, and it's usually about what they think will best instill upon their children. And sometimes they abandon it altogether and they go a completely different route. So for her, I think she's just trying to make sure her in-laws aren't ever in a position where they can be like, see that one, you know what I mean? And then he's never able to throw it. And not that he would, but like that he would ever like feel like he made a mistake, that her kids have something to look up to, that her kids have something to aspire to be with if they choose to be with a woman, like things like that. I think that there's a lot of pressure that she puts on herself. And I think Karen was right in saying, you sound very ignorant right now, because she was making it seem like this was a one-sided issue, because she had just came into the situation. She didn't know what was going on. She came in and started blindly defending Candace, and it wasn't that she was wrong. She just didn't have enough facts. So she wasn't there from the beginning of the conversation. So I think Karen was like, you're acting like this is like a black and white thing, and it's not, and you sound ignorant as if you can't see the complexity here. The problem is Karen also threw in, for someone who has 4 degrees or who's so educated, you are ignorant. And literally, Wendy, all she heard was ignorant.
Did she
Who's
say
ignorant?
Something?
With my hello,
with my 4 degrees,
hello,
$1.5 million.
Do you know how to study? But see, what's funny is where Karen fucked up is that she also finds Wendy as a threat. As right as she is, she finds her a threat, because for her to combat Wendy with saying things like, my husband is the doctor of business. Who, first of all, girl,
the black Bill Gates.
There is a such thing. You can be that. You can get a PhD or a doctorate or
free Uncle Ben
or something like that. You can get something like that in business. He don't have it. Second of all, how he an expert at business, but you paid the monies. I just want to know how. Then are you an assistant doctor? Like, are you are you the doctor's? Are you the PA of business? Like, the way she combats her, it's never just a place of like, I don't consider. She likes to tell us that she doesn't even think about Wendy, but I see there's obviously
definitely
some
gets
thought
under her skin, because it's like, not only is she the new girl, but this is like a woman that's like younger than me, telling me about myself, coming from a different background as I did.
Like a lot of things, and I think that as much as I do love Miss Karen, I think that she's a little bit threatened by that, and I can understand it. But at the same time, it's like, girl, Karen, there is no other Karen. But you gotta really hold into that. You can't let these girls phase you, not these young chippies.
Especially one that just came in.
Right.
Yeah. We don't even know if she'll be back next season, so it's just I'm
99% sure she will. I think Wendy definitely was trying to leverage Fox and CNN and all of them. Like, hello, you need to have ebooks full time now.
She's a power player in a sense. Like,
is she?
I feel like she is. I don't think so. I'll be honest.
You don't.
I really don't think so, and I'll tell you guys straight up. But I do think that she has the potential to be one if she turns it around. Like, if she stops putting so much focus on her 4 degrees.
Because she has a good storyline. Yeah. Like, she has a lot.
But it is going to be very overshadowed right now. That's the only thing. There's no way that Wendy's storyline, which is fantastic, and her family, the dynamic with her husband it's heartbreaking. Like, I really want to know so much more about that. But we have invested so much time into Michael being trash. We cannot escape. Like, we must focus on the issues. And the issues are, we love Eddie. He's beautiful. And we can all just like sum up and agree his family is trash for abandoning him, and he deserves his family back. Okay, but Ashley, like that's pretty much what we had. Like, we're very one track minded here. Like, Jamal and Giselle, train wreck. Karen's husband, why you don't love her? Like, there's too many strong storylines here that we're invested in that overpower.
So she's trying to involve herself in the drama.
She kind of has to
get the spotlight.
And you know, I find myself becoming a Wendy apologist because I like her. I just feel like people I think she comes in strong. I'm like, honey, this isn't Beverly Hills. This is Potomac. Giselle would chew you up and spit you out if you sat there and just observed. If you were like, I don't think I'm observing, Giselle would be like, then why are you here? Like, she would straight up ask you that. And I feel very strongly that the rest of the women will be like, she don't have nothing to say here. And who are you? Where did you come from? So it's not like Garcelle, for instance, when she missed a couple of events on Beverly Hills, which is a slow burn. It's a much slower franchise. We're going at a glacial pace over there. The fans were very much so like, we wish she got mixier. We wish she was more involved. We wish she would say something.
It's a totally different situation.
She was like, she was trying to observe, but it's also because she knew she was being a token. Like, she was like, I need to see where I'm going to bring out myself and win. And that makes sense for there. Even Leah, the first 2 episodes, people had high expectations on New York because Dorinda said to all of BravoCon, she's a gangster. You will love her. She's so hype. And it was like the first episode, she was like, oh, wait, hold up. Ramona comes out swinging, like immediately. Dorinda, the first episode was like, Tinsley's never getting married. You're a turkey-based bitch. And I was like, oh my. And Leah was like, holy shit, I don't have enough to drink for this. Wendy came on strong, but that's because, have you seen that cast? They're insane. Like, they're insane. You got cheating husbands and grabbing booties and fake pastors with embezzlements and whatnot. Like, there's a lot going on there.
Embezzle. Oh my God, Robin's hat line?
That was the funniest thing I've ever. Let me tell you something.
Embezzle.
Stop hitting myself, because that's my favorite clip of my friends are tired of me.
Shout out to Black China.
Consistently send that to them for no reason without
we could not stop saying it. And when they said it, we even tweeted it.
It was that scene. Her and Treasure.
Embezzle, bitch.
That whole scene.
She's like, I don't even know what that means, but don't accuse me of it.
It's embezzle. And it was so funny is that she said that about Robin. That's your friend. That's your whole friend. And she said, you embezzle. You're running from the IRS and you embezzling. I know the IRS was like, is this something to
Can we talk about how Wendy slithers out of the room?
That was
like a snake.
All I heard was like the theme song to Grinch, like playing, like, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
And it was so funny because the only thing she could do was laugh and just be like, all right, you guys, get out.
Because you're not going to keep coming at Karen. So, yeah.
That's also my whole point is like Wendy kind of has to be more on one because Karen would take that whole situation and basically meme the fuck out of it live. Like at the tea party going, and she was just walking down like this. And it's like, because my thing is if Wendy was more demure, people would say she was a pushover. They'd be like, girl, it'd be like, okay, Miss Karen is eating these hoes alive. She's eating them. And I'm not saying Wendy's a worthy opponent of Karen and Karen's not eating her alive. I'm just saying nobody likes to watch the bait get eaten. I like a little bit of a,
I think that I would wish that Wendy would kind of like separate herself from, like, I understand that she's Candace's friend. Candace brought her in there. They're both the 2 people who are, I think they're Howard alums. I want her to like separate herself from Candace.
Yes.
And that's what it's not appearing. And that's kind of my problem.
I think she thinks that she has to connect with someone because they always say if you don't, you will not be able to film. Because Andy has said it many times, if the women won't film with you, then they cannot have you back. And I think she thinks she's aligning with the person whom I think she thinks will remain. And that I get the strategy because usually if you pull bitches by their weaves and punch them in the face, you probably will not be asked back. So the person who's the victim might be asked back so that they don't get wrongly fired, wrongful termination.
They might be, but I feel like Monique kind of has a chance because
I don't think Monique's coming back at all. I don't think they're going to even ask her.
When Candace went to the police, Bravo did not like that shit.
Oh, they didn't like it at all, but then Monique did it back, and they really hated that. because that basically ties them up.
They want to handle it in house, and like they did it, and that's why the DA dropped it, because there is no freaking case. Like, speaking of Candace,
there is no case.
Candace has like this habit of saying things are very like hood rat, and I'm like, okay, this is an educated woman. She's a beauty queen. It's so ironic because it's just like, I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, if she had a clean record, like pretty much like Karen, we don't really see her in anything hood ratish, but Candace married a man. Candace married a man that literally has 3 kids by 2 baby mamas. That's number one. Number two, she was like in a verbal argument with her mother, and she got slapped in the face with a purse. That wasn't like,
and
lady.
The makeup stayed on that purse until the reunion. That should tell you something. You didn't wipe it down with a Lysol wipe?
On top of that, like, she took a butter knife out, and this wasn't before Ashley refused to leave her house, because I wouldn't fault her if, it was before Ashley refused to leave her house, but she took out a butter knife and threw it. So it's like, you are always calling things hood radish. And then, like, especially when she got, like, congrats on the record, dear girl. But when she got that record deal, she was like, oh, yeah, this is for the hood. Yeah, whatever. And it's just like, didn't you just call Monica a hood rat?
It's so funny to me.
Are you trying to, like, you just go with whatever is going on? Because, like, you're not the perfect, like, little goody two-shoes.
It's so
Your
crazy
family
to me.
isn't.
Because being from where, first of all, her mama is the ultimate, like, I don't want to say hood rat, but her mama is straight up like gangster. She beat up her own daughter with a purse. Like,
with a purse in public, honey. Like, this was not.
And had no problem showing it to Andy. Like,
I was proud of it.
Very proud. That's wild. Little ratch. But it's so funny because I know girls like Candace. I know exactly where she lives. I know where she lives. It's very paralleled to the girls that I know who are from that area who act very similarly. Who are very fake, they're like faux pretentious, very ghetto princess, very much so like where you live.
Bugetto.
Honey, it's not any kind of upscaling. It is very much so just expensive. And where she is actually, it's very funny because where she lives in the National Harbor, which is what they always show, those townhouses, everyone who's from there laughed at the idea of paying $750,000 for those townhouses, because where she is in the hood. It has been the hood for 30 years, maybe more. Literally,
is it getting gentrified now? Is that
it's been that way, but it's but it's not white gentrified. So basically, one thing I do love about the county that she's in, Prince George's County, which is where I'm originally from.
How far is it from Potomac?
It's far. It's about 45 minutes. She's in PG County, which is a choice. Usually for Black people, you choose there, Montgomery County, which is where Potomac is. None of us live in Potomac, though. That's why you never see any of them there.
Don't do that.
That's not our calling. But because it doesn't really have to be. There's a lot of rich neighborhoods. Potomac is not the best one. So where Candace lives is, like, one thing I do love about that county is that they definitely reinvested in Black business and Black people. They are not trying to bring outsiders in per se. They do get a lot of
that's
investment.
Gentrified in the best way. It's not like white invasion. So
like they brought in like the Gaylord and like MGM Casino. Like they brought in all those big names, but they gave the money back to us. And a lot of us do live there. And it's definitely touristy. A lot of people from other places coming to, like Tanger outlets. So there are a lot of things like that. But where Candace lives, it was definitely the hood. The problem was the developers were like, this is too close to DC. This is too close to Virginia. This is on the Potomac River. We got to do something with this space because it's on the water. It really is on the Potomac. So it's beautiful. But we all laughed at the idea of spending $750,000 to live in the hood. That's laughable. Yeah, she did not get a good job on her investment. Yes, and she's from there. That's what I'm saying. It's so wild to me because she acts like a lot of the girls who I grew up with who are from around there who are very much like, girl, do you know where you at? At 3 o'clock in the morning, you will hear things that you do not feel safe around. But they will act like on Sunday morning when they go to church with their LV Neverfulls and their carry-alls and all that stuff, they'll act like there's this air to them. And Candace is not proprietary. She is not original. I know plenty of Candace. My whole best friend is a Candace. Like, if
I'm
anything,
about
so.
to pull out my origami tissues the way you're reading.
Now, see, that's weird. She should start a tissue line.
I'm saying she has so many sponsorship issues. It's the tissue,
the hair
it's
glue has to
the glue.
That's
I'm
ridiculous. Because Monique was pulling. She was pulling,
absolutely.
and it did not move.
You can't fake that. So it's
that's
like,
really good glue.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about. I was like,
it's like, who is her hairstylist? Who did her hair?
That's a good bundle.
Like, why is she keeping it? Is she in the lab cooking it up, honey? Like, because you will be having a customer or two.
But yeah, Candace is it's so funny because she wants to ride that line of like when she wants to be a hood and when she doesn't. When it's cool for her, it's cool for her. But then all of a sudden she gets scary and she's like, oh no, we don't do that. I said, so who drew the line? Where is the line?
It's just like very like, whenever she wants it to be ghetto, it's ghetto.
When it's convenient.
When it's convenient for her. And it's like, your track record isn't the best, sweetie.
But when we actually take you to the streets and decide to whoop your ass, you're like, me?
Oh my God. And then everyone is like, oh no, everyone on that show has a terrible mouth. No one is like spits as much vitriol as Candace. I know Ashley comes in.
Is mad because she can't fight. I maintain that.
I only stand behind you.
You know what I mean? It only looks ridiculous. And it only looks like Monique really beat that ass because Candace can't fight. The moment she could stand up for herself, people would be like, I bet you would be even more split. There would not be a clear side. Everyone would be like, it only feels that because it was very one-sided. Monique beat that ass. It very much so did occur.
But it's like no one spits as much hateful words as Candace. Like Ashley, she'll be
her
petty,
own husband.
She'll be messy, she'll be terrible. But when you come to the point where you're calling someone a bed wench and you're also married to a white man while they're giving birth, you're telling your husband he's a bum ass like a terrible dad, and then cursing people out on Twitter for like mentioning it. So yeah, no one does that.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
You are a carbon copy of your dad, and all because he wanted to like carry her purse or something. I was like, is she well? No, she's not.
I think he called her spoiled, and she went off.
Oh yes, he called, and she said, everyone knows that is my trigger. I'm like, so what? You went for his fatherhood?
It's like apples and oranges.
That's not a lie. Like, you are spoiled. You literally told us on episode 1 you have a trust fund. I'm confused.
Yeah. It's
like your parents pay your rent. Like, what are you talking about?
It's like, yeah, my mom pays for everything. She's gonna take me on a shopping.
And that's why I let her hit me in the face with the purse.
And she's like, well, you know what? You're a shit dad. But also, you could have went up before that.
Insane, like no one does it like her. It's like Candace, it's Ashley, then it's Giselle, and then the rest. But speaking of Ashley, I am so proud of her growth because she is being messy this season a little bit. We see a little bit of the old Ashley.
I love Ashley.
We also see the growth in Ashley. Her number one, I think off the bat this season, I saw a different Ashley when she came on like the first or second episode and she had a bonnet on. And I was like, okay, Ashley.
Also, her hair has definitely developed this year. It's beautiful.
It's
every
like
style.
made.
I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Those confessional ones.
Not to mention, I have curly hair. I don't know how she finds the time, even
with a baby.
I'm like, girl, what? No, I can't. I literally, my hair has been in the exact. I put on the entire Bravo with this. I was like, I'm not redoing it.
Listen, and that's okay.
You try to reactivate these curls after day 3. It's not happening. And Ashley keep like steaming them, blow drying them, blowing them out.
What is she doing?
I'm like, what kind of damn refresher does she have?
Yes. What is your steamer? Let me see your dryer attachments.
A spray bottle every 5 seconds.
Literally.
What you use? Diva Curl. Gotta be. Those Diva curls. Those are not no Carol's daughter. Okay.
Not okay. And
don't sue me, Carol. This don't work on it.
You just lost your sponsorship.
It's okay. I would not tell the girls.
Oh.
No. Because I'd be like, no, girl, you got to add too many things in that.
You heard it here.
If you know, you know. And that's Bravo while Black, child. So Ashley's growth is like amazing to see because not only did she basically fess up and was like, yo, this was the deal with my marriage. she also talks about postpartum depression and how so many women go through it. And she is doing marriage counseling. She's doing all these things like on camera. Like, yeah, she might not be so transparent about, you know, what Michael Darby really did that day when Gossip in the City posted that photo. Mm-hmm. But the rest of it, it's like, I don't think a lot of people would have handled it the way that she handled it. They would have handled it way more like on the low, under the table kind of shit. And also when she hit him with that post-nup agreement, I was like, okay, like that.
But you saw that she's put the pause on it.
Yeah, she said that
because the pregnancy.
On Watch What Happens Live, yeah, she put a pause on it, and I get
which I kind of get because post-nup is great. 2 babies is better. Not saying that's like her plan. I don't want to say.
Well, that's my plan. So
this is my plan for her. It's what I believe the plan should be. However, I don't think that she, you know, got pregnant for that purpose. I think she got pregnant and was like, oh, okay, well, I always wanted to have more kids.
Yeah.
I want them to have the same father, and I
she wasn't finished yet.
Like, I think she's like, I dare him to try me now. And I get it. I think she's like, she's making do because she's like, I always wanted this family. I finally got this family. We saw her.
And then she's also saying like, you know, I had my fun. Like I was a different kind of person, you know, before I had Dean, because we have to remember that Ashley was fairly young when she joined the show, and then before that she was even younger, and we already see how well Ashley is on the show. So in real life it's like, you know, Ashley has her fun, and you know, the growth is just great to see. I'm glad that she's bringing these issues to the forefront, and you know, you just go Ashley. Did you see, can we talk about
Katie's twin?
No, that was funny. I love that the girl was like, who is Katie Ross? Like, yes, girl. We don't know.
A moment of silence for Katie Ross.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a few moments of silence, solitude, peace, something, because Katie is, that's a lot going on there. But and she was a fun housewife while she joined us. And could come and be with us here in Planet.
She was actually in the news lately for some tea. some blog put out that she. No, listen, not the picture. Oh God, not the picture. But there was like a blog that put out that she hooked up with another housewife of Potomac, and you know, she won't say who. But I'm pretty sure it was Ashley because they're friendship.
Nobody else. I'm telling you.
Literally. It's like, let's just narrow it down.
As much as I love Potomac, like the Potomac ladies, we know, like, especially as Black people, we know these women. Like, we know, we went to church with these women. We know these women. Like, we
recognize ourselves and our elders, like, in them. So we never just narrow it down.
The aunties aren't having.
Karen is not that girl.
Karen's not doing it. Giselle's not doing it. Robin's not even doing it.
It's not the first lady of the church.
No, my word.
Jamal would love it though. But anyways, so
Jamal would like a harem. He wants a whole assortment.
So we are, you know, balls deep now in our Southern Charm NOLA rewatch.
I hate when she says that shit.
Well, I mean, if we're balls
deep in.
If we're balls deep, we're balls deep, damn it. And you know what? This is our podcast. We drank a whole bottle of wine and it's coming out tonight. So
I love it. I absolutely love that.
You're balls deep in our Southern Charm NOLA rewatch. We are actually, you guys don't know, we don't know when we're putting this out, honestly. We might put it out because tomorrow's election day and like, you know, ease some of your stress. But
I'm recording on election day too. I'm pretending as if it's not.
Like just distract yourselves, guys.
Also because it gives y'all like 7 days to like, you know what I mean? Like when you put it out before, it gives you 7 days to kind of distance until the next time versus you don't put it out on election day and then you're like thinking about every day, like, oh shit, I haven't done it yet. Like, and who's going to watch it?
We're going to put it out tomorrow probably, guys. So what we decided to do also is that, you know, some of you guys have been with us. A lot of y'all actually went ahead of us and finished the 2 seasons. But anyways, people have been messaging me saying like, oh, I'm finished with it. It was so good. I'm so glad you put it.
Can you guys keep up?
Can you guys like wait for us to watch it a second time? Okay.
I'm not going to lie. You and I was like, they want me to do once a week? That ain't going to happen.
Says me who started on season 2.
Anyways, Aaron, so we are going to watch another episode tomorrow, especially for Election Day, to get some of our friends who are also watching, like, get the election stress and CNN off of your minds. So we'll be watching episode 5, I think it is, 4 tomorrow, and then episode 5 on Wednesday. So you guys, please join us with that, and, you know, skip ahead about like a minute or so because we have a spoiler alert if you're still on season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to Jeff Charleston, who just got married to Maddie, his girlfriend that he met not too long after shooting. Or did he meet her on the show?
He met her on the show.
Right after the show. And, you know, they developed their relationship, and he got into a terrible motorcycle accident where he was like touring the country or something. Got into an accident. He's actually wheelchair bound right now. And she's stuck by his side through it all. And recently in New Orleans, there was Hurricane Zeta. So we hope you guys, if you're listening from there, everyone is safe and your power is back on. They were supposed to get married, but they could not get married the way they wanted to because of the hurricane. But they got love, and that's all they need. And, you know, we are sending our good graces to Jeff and Maddie, and we are also hoping for another season. So we're going to push another season as many times as we can.
Yeah, congratulations to Jeff. I mean, I don't know. Everybody was posting it, so I know it's a spoiler alert, but also, girl, I mean, the internet. So the rest of the world already knew Southern Charm was the bomb. I mean, obviously it's a rewatch for y'all, but for some people, I am glad that you're exposing them because they're like, oh, this is our first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I mean, that's your fault, but also I'm so glad that you have found patient content creators to walk you through this journey because it is some of the best television. And season 1, and I hate to say it like this, but as someone who watched season 1, I loved it. And then when I saw season 2, season 1 is trash. It's literally nothing.
Yeah, it was so slow compared to season 2 because it's like
people are like
right out the gate in season
so great.
2.
And I'm like, girl, just
it's
hold
slow. Like wait until Okay, so speaking of Southern Charm, we are back covering the OG Southern Charm. Don't really have much to say about it. You know, we're just watching it to see Catherine get dragged. Hopefully Craig will get dragged. But Catherine came out the gate being messy as hell, like doing a disgrace by showing Thomas Ravenel on the screen. Monty, did you watch that shit?
Of course I did not.
You did not.
So I knew exactly. They told me what was going to happen, and I said, I don't need that. That's not what the Lord has planned for me.
Amen.
That's not what He wanted in my life, and I feel like I missed absolutely nothing.
You didn't
nothing happens in the first episode anyway, so I can at least binge. Like I'll just wait until it gets like episode 4, and I'll binge all 4, and then get to the real stuff.
In the first episode, Catherine comes out the gate. For some reason, Thomas Ravenel is there, even though, you know, he had to pay up a fee for sexual assault for a couple women, actually. He said that he would never film again. He called Patricia Outshul a whore, called every woman on the show basically out of their name. And
called this woman who he had children with a lot of things.
And it's insane. But also, Catherine brings to the table what Cameron Eubanks quit about. She says that she heard that Cameron's husband, Jason, was cheating on her. And it was just such a rumor that was so far-fetched that Craig was like, why would you even say that? Because I think we all know that that's not true. And it just confirms a rumor that we heard before, you know, Southern Charm had to tape. They had to start taping over so many times that it's like ridiculous. I think they started filming
it almost makes no sense why they brought it back. It makes zero sense to me. If you have to work this hard to make a season happen, scrap it.
And then on top of that, they had
give no one else this. They give no one else this kind of leeway. No other show gets this kind of grace. Like it feels like this show and Summer House, they work so hard to make happen. And that's not saying that I don't like Summer House. I don't know if I could watch it live. I like it bingeable, but it just seems like they put every penny into making sure, no matter how much it costs, they had to redo. Southern Charm, Charleston restarted before COVID. They scrapped it and were like,
they did.
Don't got anything.
Like 3 to 4 times.
You had a clean break. Let it go.
Just don't bring it back.
Free.
Let the horse die.
Literally let the mouse go. It makes zero sense.
They're like, no, I think somebody want to see this.
I think
to bring back Thomas when they made like such a fuss about like him no longer being a part of the show because of the allegations and who he is, and I'm like, and then to take episodes down during the entire summer because of Black Lives Matter and everything like that. So you're sitting on not a gem, like you're sitting on trash, and you're simply just trying to just keep pouring glitter on the trash.
And then the ratings reflected because it had even worse ratings than last season. Last season had even worse ratings than the season before because honestly, Thomas is a terrible human being, but he's kind of like the Jax of the show. So some people kind of just didn't want to watch it with Thomas. And then after last season, it was so boring that they're like, we're definitely not going to watch it this season. So that's what happened. On that, the new girl seems like she's going to at least, I don't think that she's going to quote unquote snatch them up, but I think that she's definitely going to check them on their privilege. And it's just me having a hard time realizing that Craig is no longer the hottest one on the show. Shep is now the hottest one on the show. Shep is actually voting Democrat. He's also recognizing his flaws, like he's an entitled, spoiled,
because Craig is not recognizing his
anything at all. He's going live with Tommy Loren. But anyways, child.
Who? Oh, Tammy Lala.
Yeah.
Tammy Lasagna is while they like stick on her.
That's like in Girlfriends when Tony calls Jabari literally any other name.
Yes. Jabangle.
Jimmery.
Jamboree is my favorite word.
Perfect. Yeah, but Cam is not back. Chelsea, I think she quit. So it's just like, why are we? Yeah, Chelsea was fine. But
what's funny is that separately, none of them are that anchoring like on the show where you're like, Chelsea's gone, I'm out. Like if anything, it's actually Catherine and Thomas that if they ever like fully left, people would have a hard time to watch.
That's why they're having a hard time watching now because Thomas is basically
the three of them leaving together feels powerful. Kind of like that's a lot. That
and it's like again on top of that, like not only do you have to keep filming the show over and over again, but then 3 people are exiting. So how about if that wasn't a big enough sign? Like what's going on?
Again, you had a clean break with COVID. I mean, same with OC. You had a clean break. They had to stop filming. Then they had to start. Then they stopped again. Like, apparently, this is a sign. Let's listen.
But OC was a dying franchise before Screamface started
again.
Bullshit.
That's the whole point. Is that when the pandemic hit, everyone had a clean break. Like,
and you had a good
insurance
reason.
Company say it's not my fault, and then leave. Like, make clean break.
Yeah.
But no, just hold on to the trash.
Well, Monty, we are so happy to literally have you here with us. If you haven't checked out Monty's last podcast, well, not her last one, but we were on there with her recently. Please go download that. Please give her a rating. Smash that like button. Do whatever you got to do to get Monty in your life. And we are going to have a little question and answer with Monty called Getting in the Mix with Monty. Do you like that one?
I do like that. Okay. All right, puns.
Come on.
Titles.
Yes. Okay, so what drink will you be mixing to calm your election day woes?
I'll be having tequila and I will be mixing it with ice.
Very simple.
Straight to the point, just like Monty and her.
Literally.
Podcast.
That's what I did for debate 1 and 2 and 3. And guess what? By the end, I was laughing. So I'm going to keep drinking till it's funny. I'm going to keep drinking till it's funny.
I'll be doing the same thing with Hennessy, yes.
I think that I'm just going to continue drinking the strawberry one. Like, just get
I love that.
Just because it tastes like juice. Like, it just tastes like a juice. So I'm going to drink it the whole day.
No,
and then by the end of the day,
Denise Richards. I will probably start around 6 p.m. Yeah, and I will be at 6 p.m. and just pour it into a glass with some ice and just go ahead.
Okay, now this one is called Real Housewives Mix Up.
These names.
I just try to incorporate mixing.
It's her. I want to point this out too. It's her with the names tonight because she's killing it.
Because I'm corny as fuck. So, okay, the first part of the question is, what are your 3 top housewives?
Ooh, top 3 like of all time or
of right now?
Of right now, who are like employed.
Yeah, in different franchises. It has to be one of each.
Yeah.
In different franchises.
I could do that. So I am very here for Sonia. I have such a soft spot for her. Like, no matter what, I love a Sonia. She always has a moment. She is the moment. Like, she really is. Like, she shows up and it's just so much fun. I wanna hang out with her. I
want to watch from afar.
Garcelle, I think, can really make it happen for me. I think I follow her so much in my life that I love her. Like, she could literally
do no wrong to me. Yeah.
She's amazing. She's so aspirational. It's not even just because of the money. Like, the life she lives, it's so Hollywood. It's so grand.
Like Black Hollywood too, though.
Yes.
Like, this is what it means.
She's casually friends with Will Smith's ex-wife, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, and I went on a date with Will." Like, I'm sorry, what?
And literally, like Jamie Foxx, she got Jamie Foxx to admit that he wishes that they dated. And he's like, yeah, we should have made that happen. I was so jealous of your boyfriends. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I just wanted to see that on the show.
And then, you know, when Netflix keeps putting out all these, like, you know, older Black sitcoms, and Garcelle is just in everyone. Like, hey, girl.
She's gorgeous.
Somewhere.
So, yeah, I'm really here for Garcelle. I love her. And then it's going to have to go Atlanta, and I'm just going to have to go Portia because she's the only one current that would be my favorite right now.
Okay, so now we're going to mix that shit up. Send all your top three, so Sonia, Garcelle, and Portia, send them to other franchises.
Okay, that's not hard. I would send Portia to Potomac. That would be amazing.
Oh my God, yes.
I would send Sonia to OC because I think that she would be like, what is going on? Y'all are dry. And she would say everything that I would be thinking. I think she would liven them up. And they need that. And then who did I have? Garcelle. I would send Garcelle to New York because I think she's class enough to handle it, but I also think she could give, like, if it couldn't be Ebony, I would put Garcelle there.
Ooh, that's a good mix. I really like that.
Thank you. Call me Bravo.
Exactly. Listen, y'all need storylines.
Monty, we love your name.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we just want to know, how did you come up with your podcast name, Mixing with Monty?
Mixing.
I woke up. And seriously, one day I woke up and I went to the bathroom and washed my face and was like, I think I should just start a podcast. I think that I really should. Like, I had just done one. I just guested on Real Moms of Bravo early on when they were like, and maybe they had like 300 or 400 followers. And I was like, I really like this. I think I should do it. And they were like, you should do it. And I thought about it. I slept on it. And I woke up and said, if I'm ever going to do it, I'm going to do it now. I had talked about it for a long time, I had a lot of different thought processes about it. It really came from, like I've told this story before, the Randall and 50 Cent, the whole 50 Gate thing. I was like, these are two of my worlds, and neither side was reporting it correctly. Like, the Shade Room kept being like, a business associate
like,
of 50 Cent.
You guys don't understand.
Girls, I'm like, y'all, Vala is a hoe on the show, and she was talking about her hold'em and how it got her arranged. You need to know what's going on. And then Eve was like, somehow Lala's in a feud with 50 Cent. And I'm like, no, not somehow. He works on the show. He's the producer. His name is in the credits.
She's dating Randall.
This is a big deal. Power is the best show ever. What are you talking about?
Like, so important.
So I felt like I was like, these things I always feel like I'm caught in between two worlds of pop culture. And I was very much so like, I wish I could find a way to kind of merge both worlds to like be like, oh, in case you don't know this. And the great thing is that when I started, I had the opportunity to do that. When Hot Girl Summer came out, it felt very much like nobody knew where that came from on one side, and y'all know which one that is. And they were like, we don't know where this came from. I think it was from Miley Cyrus twerking. I said, which y'all not know.
Absolutely.
Well, we're not. That's blasphemous.
Not.
And I felt like this was what I'm talking about. These are the moments that I live for, where I could finally like open up and be like, these are the intersections. These are the intersections of pop culture that we need to be more involved in. And one day I was just like, what would I call it? I put my name in it or something. And I just said Mixing with Monty. And I was like, that's
the
nice.
alliteration is like really
I'm an English major. I'm an English major in college. And so in college, when I came up with it, I was like, oh yeah, I love a good pun. I love a good word moment.
That's what we're having right now. Every time I hear the name Imani, I just think back to like kindergarten and what they taught us, like the whitewashed version of Kwanzaa, and they're like, Imani means peace. And I'm like, Imani means peace.
I used to love watching the Proud Family because it was like day 7 on the Proud Family when she celebrated Kwanzaa with that homeless family that they kept vanishing in the thin air. They literally, he was like, Imani. And I was like, that's me. I'm on TV, I'm famous. It's like me and every other Imani in the world.
Man, I'm jealous because I never find my name on anything. Like, I never get named after any. The only Kaya I know is literally My Neck, My Back Kaya. And it's like, we're two totally different
she's
people.
Not a good Kaya. That's a bad Kaya. Like, she's a wild woman.
Sometimes. And thank God we're in the Bravo world, so no one really knows.
Kaya. My mom was going to name me Makaya.
Ooh.
It was going to be either Micaiah, but then a friend of ours had that name for her child already. So we were like, never mind. That's too close. It was going to be that, or it was going to be Zora. And I was like, how y'all get Imani? It was in a book of names from Africa. I'm like, okay.
It's beautiful. Yeah, my other name was going to be Rochelle. And I'm like, I'm glad you went with, my name.
Kai is a wonderful name.
Thank you. I like to talk about myself a lot. So we have some holiday questions since it's the holiday season, and it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Most wonderful.
My birthday is 2 days before Christmas, so I celebrate every holiday. Right? Oh, my family knows 2 separate holidays, 2 separate presents, Playboy. But
because that is a rough one.
Yeah, no, because I'm spoiled. I'm like Candace. I'm gonna curse you out like that. I'm gonna talk about your daddy if you get me one present.
The whole week.
Okay, so how was your Halloween? Because I personally just spent it with like my mom and we chilled. How was your Halloween?
It was absolutely nothing. I mean, one of my roommates was very disappointed that there weren't a lot of trick-or-treaters. And I'm just like, nobody's going to risk their lives getting candy when you can buy it like 20,000% off the next day. Like, and the parents are like, hey girl, have all the candy you want. I loved seeing people's costumes, the family costumes on Bravo, and I love to see the people's creativity on how to give it to trick-or-treaters, like through shoots and little bags instead of like, putting your hand in candy. Because the fun thing about COVID is it really makes you re-examine how dirty we are as a society, but like, why are we just letting kids just like rummage their hands through someone else's stuff that we don't know them? You know what I mean? Like strangers on the street, like, here is your bowl. We don't know what they put in that bowl. We really don't know. And it's so crazy because back in the day, they used to actually put wild shit in those bowls. So the kids just like, trick or treat. Oh, look, Reese's. And it's like, I love to see the different creativity on how to kind of keep it clean, divide it up, things like that. But I spent it in the house. Mm-hmm. We got some food. That was nice. And I think at one point the service said like happy Halloween. I said, oh, is it? Like I was very confused. It doesn't feel like any holidays really.
It was a Saturday
this year, so
it was a regular little Saturday.
But I do feel bad for the kids because that's a great day to have Halloween. Like that's a fantastic day.
Iconic. And then there was like a blue
stay up all night, eat all the candy, and then go to sleep and then like not have to go to school the next day. That's amazing.
What is your favorite holiday drink?
My favorite holiday drink, non-alcoholic, it's gonna be it's definitely a Starbuckser. I really enjoy it's a caramel apple chai. So it's I love a chai tea latte moment. It's delicious, and then I love a caramel apple spice that they have. And it was recommended to me by a barista at my high school years ago, and I still drink it to this day. It's delicious. It's literally just combined the two things, and it's like a little spicy with the chai, and then it's very sweet with the caramel apple spice, and it kind of comes together perfectly.
The fact that you said it was a moment, I knew that shit was good.
A movement, not a moment. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Overall, like the very generic answer, because I'm Black, so we in for the sides. It's never about whatever the main thing is
for me.
It's always the side though. Like I love all the sides. I'll eat the collard greens. I'll eat the cabbage. I like the stuffing. I like the mac and
Oh
cheese.
my
I like the mashed
God. I hate
potatoes. I
that
like the
we do
green
this.
beans. I like them all.
So
but
I
it's
want a good old
I have to
Southern
say
plate.
I probably really will eat like a plate of sides, and then the meat will come later. But it's definitely for me got to be between the mac and cheese and the cabbage. I love cabbage.
Oh my God.
I've actually recently had it mixed with greens. It was like cabbage and greens.
Now see, that's the wackest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
You can't pick.
It was wild.
Listen, we live in South
was
Florida. We live in
good.
Broward County, honey.
Because
was
whenever
really
you go
good.
to a soul food restaurant, you have to, you see it, right? You always get the mac and cheese. You're always like, okay, I gotta have like my starch, and then you're like, do I get cabbage or do I get collards? I don't know. What mood
I always
am
get
in?
collards. I'm
I
sorry.
always get cabbage, and then I get collards. I like them all.
Mix it up.
Literally.
So, what has been, if you can remember, your worst Christmas present?
I think it was the year I realized I started getting clothes. I was like, huh? Like as materialistic as I was as a kid, my parents would like give me some toys, and all of a sudden it'd be like a sweater, and I'm like, I hope you don't expect me to have the same energy because I can't.
Right.
Like,
I don't know what
gosh.
you thought. And then when I started getting like very into labels and like designer
Fashion.
things, which was early on, then it was this is not a purse, so or this is not shoes, so I don't really want it either. Like again, girl, I don't want the sweatshirt. Like I don't want that.
What is your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie, I'm definitely old school. I like White Christmas. I like
That's old school.
Yeah.
That's like
No,
black and white old.
I took a film class, so film noir and old movies like in the 50s, 60s. Those are my favorite types of movies. So White Christmas is really great. I think it's really funny. And then more current or present day. I love an Eloise at Christmas time at the Plaza. I love that one. I love Elf. Like I love all the Christmas movies. So I'm very traditional. I'll watch all the normal general ones like Jingle All the Way and stuff like that, like the cliche ones. And then I'll also watch all the Lifetime girls, like all the Hallmark.
The Hallmark girls for me.
I love the Hallmark moments. Let me tell you something. Whenever I see a Tori Spelling, I know I'm a Christmas fan. I'm like, if I'm really about to watch a Tori Spelling movie, like.
Oh my gosh! She had one with Tia Mowry. It was like they were the Mistletones on ABC Family. That is my shit.
I was literally about to be like, if I say the name, she might be like, "Oh, you know it, and I was really not.
What is the one with Vanessa Hudgens that we're waiting for?
Oh, the Princess
Switch one, the Princess Switch. Yeah, the sequel.
The sequel too, and there's gonna be a third one.
I will watch I'll watch every Christmas movie, like all of them. There's
at least once
with Holiday and Handcuffs. I think with like Melissa Joan Hart. I love that. I watch them all. ABC Family movies are my favorite. I love those. Are like the original, like the Lifetime and everything. That countdown to Christmas. That 30 days or 25 days to Christmas. Oh, that's the time. I love it. 25 days until Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. So that was such a fun moment. Like, I love your holiday choices. I love your take on Potomac because you did open my eyes to some things.
She did.
But we want you to...
Wonderful. That's what I'm here for. I like to influence the girls. In my mind, I'm always right. So whenever someone's like, actually, this person is wrong, I'm like, so let me tell you why that's not it. And I'm going to do it in such a kind way. You don't even realize you're thinking differently.
Yeah, that's definitely
welcome.
It's just like, anytime I see something about how Candace is not different from the others, I'm like, well, let's actually go through what she's done. I think
it helps that I'm not abrasive with it. Like, the girls are abrasive in the comments.
It's too much. And it makes me not want to talk about it, though. Like, that's why I'm like, I don't want to talk about the fight anymore. I'm over it because you bitches are literally about to make me call you bitches. So I'm just like done with it. But we are literally so close, both you and I, Bravo While Black and at Mixing with Mani. We're both so close to 10K. We are on our journey to 10K.
Oh, y'all are much closer to me, honey. I'm
listen, don't expose yourself.
I'm going down like Wendy. I'm going down the stairs, like, just
don't
a nice little saunter. Just sauntering down slowly.
But you're the closest you've ever been. We're the closest that we've ever been. And it's going to be so good to have that swipe up. So please tell your granny, your dog, anyone, please follow both of us You follow us from the account that you stalk your boyfriend on. Just follow us, please. Please leave a review and leave a
your
review
failed
for our
mommy
podcast.
blogger days. Do that.
Not
follow
wait.
from there.
Okay.
Because every woman thinks that they're gonna be a mom.
But
I don't even have kids, and I want to be a mommy blogger. I'm like, let me
create a
I
mommy
got recipes. I'm gonna do it. But it's hard work because they got to be moms. So they're like, girl, I'm abandoning that. I'm just going to parent my kids. But from that account, follow us.
Yes,
so your mommy friends follow us at the mommy group, at the kids groups.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I want a mini cake. What are y'all doing for 10K? I want a mini cake that says 10K. I want to boomerang it and be like,
we're going to get some food. We're going to get some. We're
like, what we doing?
Some food. Yeah. Like, we're going to order some food. I'll probably like right now for the first time, like in like 3 months I have on makeup. I'll probably put on some makeup. I'll order me some soul food, take a picture, and do my first swipe up is like, I'm going to just link them back to my profile. Like, hey, have you heard of us?
That's so smart. Like swipe up for a surprise for 10K.
Like our very first swipe
it's
up.
Us. You made the decision. It was the right one.
So shout yourself out. You have any announcements, anything you want the people to know? Let us know where we can find you. And thank you so much. And we love you. But go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. Literally, we got to do this like quarterly or something. You can listen to me anywhere you listen to this one. So right on after here, go on ahead and head on over to Mixing with Monty in the search bar. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon by searching Mixing with Monty. That's MIXINGWITHMANI.
And you heard it here. Thank you guys for listening. Please leave a review on Apple. Apparently it's extremely important. So
girl, very
like we are just noticing that, and that's why we only have 26 reviews.
It's the most important. It's how you end up on the charts, honey. If you like to see your face on the charts, you want your people to find your phase, but you don't want to harass your people to listen to your phase. Leave a review. It's the best way to do it, especially it's free. Like if you're like, girl, I want to do the Patreon, but I don't have $5, or hey, I would love to see you something, but I don't have it. Putting a little something there, it helps the algorithm. It tells iTunes you are the one, and it tells the advertisers that eventually the networks, you're someone to look out for. So help us help you help us.
Thank you so much for putting it that way. And we have to go and brag about being Bravo influencers now. So we'll catch you the next time. God bless you all, because the election's coming up. And, we just gonna get through this together like we do everything else. Thank you.
Bless your hearts.